What is up, awesome people of the internet? Guys, as we all know, at this moment, Sydney Colson is on the Indiana Fever. She signed as a free agent, and there's a lot of people who were like, who is Sydney Colson? And there are people who were just looking at her stats and looking at her numbers and saying, you know what? No, Sydney Colson don't need to be on our team and blah, 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 blah. What I want to do is I find it helpful to have context. I find it helpful to kind of know the backstory of a player and like understand kind of like what's going on, the lay of the land of sorts. So when I found out about the news that Sydney Colson was going to the Fever, I was like, you know what? I made a video in 2023 about Sydney Colson and about her, the fact that when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready, and how she showed up and showed out and helped the Las Vegas Aces win the championship. I wanted to actually go back to that video and actually show y'all, that segment that I did on it was about Sydney Colson and Kayla George, but definitely the focus was on Sydney Colson because I thought she did a really good job. So I just want to give y'all some context there. So that's the video clip you're gonna see. You're gonna see me with braids. That was sort of like a long time ago. But anyway, watch this clip about Sydney Colson just to get a little bit more of an idea of who she is as a player. Again, instead of just reading an article about it now or hearing someone talk about it now, I thought it would be good for my previous self to tell you all what Sydney Colson is all about. So this kind of leads us into Game 4. The Aces were in the driver's seat for the start of the series, but it felt like they were losing the wheel. Their star point guard and leader, Chelsea Gray, was on a foot scooter, and their starting center, Kiah Stokes, is on crutches. And having two starters sidelined on a team that only plays a six-man roster was extremely concerning for Las Vegas Aces fans. And with that information in mind, I really thought that the Liberty had it, and they were going to win Game 4 at home and likely win Game 5 on the road in Vegas. But there's that old saying, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. The Aces beat the Liberty in a nail-biter 70-69 win to win the WNBA championship. In Game 4, the Aces saw some unlikely heroes in Kayla George and Sydney Colson. During this season, Kayla only played in 32 games. And when she got in, she played, for the most part, in garbage minutes. Similar thing for Sydney Colson. She only played in 28 games this season, with less than 4 minutes played per game. And did both of these players know going into the season that they probably wasn't going to play very much? Yes, likely they figured they probably wasn't going to play. But these ladies stayed ready. They hustled every day in practice, and they were ready for whenever they got their next opportunity. And boy, did they get an opportunity. With Kiah Stokes out, Kayla George started for the Aces and played a whopping 30 minutes. And she balled out. This girl was shooting threes galore. Like, she shot so many threes. She went 3 of 10 from the three-point line. So not the most efficient three-point stats. However, every single shot she made was critical to the Aces winning this game. Should she finish with one less three, the Aces lose. And she finished the game with 11 points, which you might say, what's the big deal? Whatever. She made 11. She got 11 points. Well, I would say this is a big deal because she's a player that most thought of as a bench warmer. She played in Game 4. She played better than WNBA regular season MVP Breanna Stewart. That's a big deal. Yes, Breanna Stewart had a very off game, but the fact that a quote-unquote bench warmer did better than the MVP says a lot. She finished the game again with 11 points. Stewie only had 10 points in this game. That's a big deal, y'all. And for Sydney Colson, she ended up coming off the bench in Game 4 and played 14 minutes. And so that's way more than her normal minutes per game. And she was working on defense. She committed 5 fouls, and she did her job, which was really to make it tough for the Liberty guards to do their thing on offense. Sydney Colson is very solid on defense, and she put on a defensive clinic in Game 4 of the WNBA Finals. And that was exactly what she needed to do. Sure, she only finished with 2 points in this game, but defensively, she was amazing. She finished the game with a 17 rating in terms of efficiency, leading the entire game. She led in efficiency for both the Aces and the New York Liberty. Like, she was phenomenal when she got on the court. Yes, she didn't have that many points, but defensively, if you actually watched Game 4, you saw how much of a difference that Sydney Coulson made when she got on the court. And both Kayla and Sydney, even though they haven't played much this season, they're not scrubs. Kayla is a 4-time WNBA champion. That's Australia's women's basketball league. And last season, she was the MVP of the NWBL. So definitely not a scrub. And Sydney Coulson, who played at Texas A&M during college, has been more of a journeywoman of sorts in the WNBA. But for years, she's made a roster. And while she didn't play much minutes on really any of the teams she's played on, she's contributed to her teams. And it's evident because she's always found a way to make a roster. There was a small stint of time where she wasn't on a roster, but for the last several years, she's made a roster every single year.
I can't tell you the amount of teammates that I've come across or people I've seen in training camps that like don't last because of like attitude. And so for us to be like 10-year vets who have never played super significant minutes on a team, TP says a line like in our show that's like, you know how hard it is to maintain a job with 0 stats? Which is like, for 10 years, like it's a little bit of a stretch. You have stats, but they're not significant. They're nothing that will make people who haven't watched our sport look at a piece of paper and say me or TP should still be in the league.
Dang, we need that on the
team. We need that. I need that point to
I need
assist. I need that point to assist over 8 years from Sid. You know what I'm saying? But you look at our dynamic on our team, you would never know. Like, you would think that we're leaders on a team because of how people respect us, because we show up every day. We do what we're supposed to do. We go above and beyond. We make sure we take care of our teammates on and off the court. You do a lot of managing, like, personalities and attitudes that, like, y'all know what locker rooms are like.
Yeah.
You have to manage a lot of stuff, and there will be people who don't play minutes, and they can be on the end of the bench, be pissy, be having an attitude, just taking the energy of the team down. Had me and TP been like that last year, we would have been cut.
Yeah. Championship team.
We realized what we were a part of, and not that we would have had attitudes anyways, but you're just like, this is about to be a championship caliber team. I would be stupid to blow this because I'm mad I'm not playing. You know what I'm saying?
And they could have just soaked and have gone through practices and just sat on the bench at games, but they didn't. They worked hard in practice trying to get the starters ready and prepared. They were super active on the bench celebrating their teammates. And when their number was unexpectedly called, they were ready for that moment, and they showed up and showed out. And to me, y'all, that truly is the stories of the final. What Sydney Colson and what Kayla George was able to do truly was amazing. Yes, you have A'ja Wilson who played lights out in Game 4 and was phenomenal and won the Finals MVP. That's awesome. She was great. But personally, I try to focus on some of those unsung heroes, the people who we didn't expect to make a difference and did. And to me, that was the story of this finals. Yes, it was the New York Liberty kind of falling and turning into a shell of a team of sorts. But it was also for the Aces, those 2 critical injuries and how 2 players stepped up off the bench. The New York Liberty, they were a team that had all of their starters. They were a team that was one of the super teams of the league, versus the Aces in Game 4 that weren't really a super team anymore because Candace Parker was injured, and then also they were missing their starting point guard and their starting center. And so for this team, this hobbled Aces team, to win in Game 4 against the super team that was healthy, though, as we heard in post-game interviews, there were some injuries possibly that some players were dealing with. That's a huge deal, and they don't win without Kayla George and Sydney Colson doing their thing for sure. And if you remember the NCAA championship, Jasmine Carson was a similar case.
Hands it off, Carson breaks it in.
She was a player who, leading up to that game, didn't really play very much. But when her name was called, she was ready and she balled out. Again, guys, when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. And this is a good lesson for anybody in really any situation. Yes, for basketball players who are riding the bench right now, hey, stay ready, keep working. Because you never know when an opportunity comes. It may be because of injury. It may be because of sickness or whatever. But when your name is called, making sure that you're ready. Same thing for like in life, in work.
If you feel like you're not getting that time to shine, okay, bide your time. Make sure you're hustling and doing the work that you need to do. And when your time comes up, you will be ready to shine and make a name for yourself. And that truly is what I think Kayla and Sydney did. And I really want to celebrate that. All right, guys, that was my recap of the WNBA Finals. The Las Vegas Aces defeat the New York Liberty to become back-to-back champs. What do y'all think about this game of Game 4? What do y'all think about the entire series? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below. Also, let me know specifically what you thought about Kayla and Sydney's performance. Again, let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you like this section, please give this video a thumbs up.
All right, guys. Did y'all like that, like sort of retrospective type of thing? Guys, I've been making videos for a while. I have a lot of videos about players that I've done in the past, and so like if y'all think that like sometimes it may make sense to sort of go back and look at thoughts at the time about a specific player, let me know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If y'all like this, hit that like button. If you didn't, or if you did, write a comment to tell me like what y'all thought about like going backwards and taking a look at what I said in 2023. Anyway. Does this convince any of y'all, Fever fans about Sydney Coulson? Like, yeah, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you on the next one. Till next time, guys. Bye-bye.